I feel zero guilt. I don't feel guilty at all.
So, if you haven't heard, Ludwig has found himself in the depths of drama. You know, your favorite slop tuber like me is making several videos on it. I've already made a video on the mango situation. You should check it out if you haven't seen it already. But just a quick recap, Ludwig hosted an event called Burial Cards. And in this event, he invited one of his longtime friends, current alcoholic Mango, who kind of made a mess of himself, got sloppily drunk, and sexually harassed several women. So that's no fun at all. A lot of people are putting a lot of blame on Ludwig for enabling him and also encouraging him to drink, which I'm not going to do too much because I think at the end of the day, Mango is his own man. I think he's responsible for his own decisions, and I think it's just a little silly to place that on another man. Like, have you guys never had that friend you drink with a lot? Like, I don't know, maybe I had a weird life, but growing up, I had friends where I would drink with them all the time, and none of us were alcoholics until you started to think about it for a second, you know? So, I think it's really a case of things just got really out of hand. Maybe Mango got too drunk, maybe he is not a good person, and he did some things that he's gonna have to look back on and try to figure himself out. And I think it's just a bad coincidence that Ludwig was hyping him up the whole time. If you look back at any of the other burial carts where nothing happened at all, he was doing the same exact thing. So that's why I don't really want to place all the blame on him. However, at the end of the day, many people are gonna take this situation and make a video about it. Like, you're watching one right now, and several people made videos on it. He's kind of a lolcow right now. There's more Pegasus who made like 6 videos on him, and Tectone also made a video on him kind of dissing Ludwig, and he was specifically mad at Ludwig for this whole thing. He placed a lot of blame on Ludwig, and he is very furious that Ludwig has never spoken out about this whole thing and not made a big apology aside from the main apology that he did the day after. And this all kind of culminated when Ludwig made a comment on Tectone during a league event, which, if you're curious, that's all Ludwig's really been doing since the whole drama took place. He's just been playing games and ignoring all of it.
Enable game chat. It's actually one of my greatest pleasures that I get to die never having to speak to these people.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's like a Tectone video. I can die never watching one.
So true.
It's a good life. It's a good life that I get to
like
have.
A really healthy life.
It is. It is.
So he doesn't say anything too harsh, just some light jabs at Tectone after Tectone made a full video on him, or did a full stream on him already. And I do have to say, I agree. I think if you never consume like slop content or drama or anything that feeds on like the negative energy, I think you would definitely be much happier as a person, and it's not even comparable. So if you want to stop watching, that's probably a good reason to stop. About Tectone himself, I really have no idea who the guy is, but he does give me bad vibes. He just seems really annoying and angry at stuff all the time when I know he really just doesn't care. But one of the main points of Tectone's video that he made that caused Ludwig to say this is that Ludwig is just not responding to anything. He made that one initial apology and he kind of dipped out just playing games. And I don't really know where this idea that you have to respond to internet drama on the internet comes from. Like, just because the whole situation went down on a stream doesn't mean he needs to address the fans and apologize to them directly. I just don't understand that idea. Like, the real people who were hurt is, like, people like Extra Emily or the girls affected by Mango and that were in the room. Those are the people he may, like, actually need to have a sit down and be like, I'm really sorry. I don't know if he's already done that, but this is just, like, that's what needs to be done. Not any kind of a drama apology, some sad sap, like, thing. I just think that's asking for more attention and it doesn't really accomplish anything. So, that being said, Tectone had already made one video, and he was very unhappy when Ludwig said this on his stream. And so, what do you think a grown man would do when you diss him like that? Of course, Tectone digs through his old-ass tweets to find some shit that kind of backs up what he's saying, which is just creepy, stalker behavior. I don't understand. Like, he actually had to go through this. I don't think a mod did this for him because, like, these tweets have like 80 likes, man. It's so weird. This whole situation makes me think that Ludwig being in drama just kind of brings out all of his haters to kind of poke fun at him and be like, look, he did something wrong. Let's go. And Tectone is definitely one of those people that wants Ludwig to like have haters. I don't really understand why, but let's have a look at what Tectone found in the tweets.
A lot of you guys say Ludwig is not responsible for someone else's actions in his event. This is a good counter argument that a lot of people say. Do you know who would disagree with that very take? Ludwig himself. And this is why we're talking about this here today. The only person responsible for someone's actions is the someone that did the action. If little Timmy sees a video of a guy eating a load of Takis and faking domestic violence and then eats a load of Takis and slaps his crush, Timmy is responsible, not the other guy. I just said your argument is weak. Fight someone else in the comments. How is it weak, bro? Nobody is responsible for what random idiots do but the idiot that did it. The fact that you seem to think that you have this much pull and control over randos that roll up to his stream says more about ego than anything else, to which Ludwig responded, I think there's a lot of good arguments for not having responsibility. I just specifically think mentioning a 1 in 100,000 extreme cases proof of why that should be the case is weak. Weak argument equals weak stance. It's not weak, it's true. You aren't responsible for what randoms do unless you specifically say, hey, go do unshit in my name.
So I really do think this is creep behavior. He was digging through the trenches of Twitter to find something that remotely supports his argument. And at the end of the day, it doesn't even really support what Tectone is saying. And all he did was spend time looking through 200 to 80 reply tweets that are vaguely related to what he's talking about. If you actually read the tweets, just to give you a little more context, the original tweet was about if you have 100,000 fans, one of them is going to be weird. And Ludwig, kind of disagreed, saying that, you do have some influence over your fans. First of all, this is talking about fans, and Mango's not a fan. It's a close friend, which is just so different because fans look up to you. Fans kind of do this thing where they want to be like you or they take inspiration in things you say. Your friends aren't fucking like that. Your friends don't give a shit. They clown on you. They think you're stupid. They're friends, man. It's not the same thing whatsoever, and even if it was the same exact situation, he is not starkly, against it. He's saying, you're kind of right, you're kind of wrong. And this is just going back to the thing Hassan said so long ago, that he mathematically crafts his takes to be as inoffensive as possible. I really do think this is just some kind of thing where people want to shit on this guy that they never see anyone shit on. And like I said, the tweets just don't support his argument, and Tectone's using them to shit on Ludwig for basically no reason. And he seems so serious about it. If you told me that Tectone's dad, was an alcoholic and told him to never let anyone enable another person, I would believe you, because that's how he's acting. And I just don't really think there's any real reason Tectone has to care this much. And anyways, Tectone does go on to make a pretty decent point, far better than what he's saying right now about how Ludwig he saw what was going on and he should have put a stop to it earlier, and I kind of do agree with that. I think that's a pretty valid take.
Maybe you just didn't see, and this is why you're ragging this way after the fact. Oh, let's watch this clip real quick.
Karaoke?
We're doing it here.
Here?
Well, apparently everyone's just trying to run it here because we got drinks and it's easy to set up.
I'm down.
Really?
Hi, babe.
He's immediately trying to touch women. You push him away.
Thank you, Lud.
He comes closer.
Thanks for having me.
Hey,
Boink,
thank you
boink,
for
boink.
You know he's being weird.
So Tectone actually makes a pretty decent point here. I don't know why he didn't harp on this fact more instead of focusing on a lot of less important things, but who knows? Yeah, Ludwig, definitely could have done more and probably should have stopped the whole situation earlier. I just know, if I was seeing Mango doing stuff like that, I would pull him to the side and say something like, oh, are you good? Do you need to lay down? Are you good? For sure, because, that's not normally how he acts, and Ludwig should have known that, and of course the defense is that Ludwig was also drunk, but he seemed aware enough to have known that that was wrong and known that he should have done that, and he didn't. So I will say that was a big L on Ludwig's side. However, the rest of the stuff that we have talked about was not really his fault. Tectone goes as far as to say Ludwig ruined Mango's career.
You couldn't even take a little bit of bad PR to ease it up on him even a little bit. You let him fry and die by himself, and now his life is over. And I mean this genuinely, Ludwig. You completely butt-fucked Mango's entire life.
I think the guy doing the humping is ruining his own career. I don't think Ludwig could have done anything to stop him from being banned from Melee tournaments or being dropped from Cloud9. I think that was literally all because of Mango, and I don't think Ludwig could have done anything if he wanted to. Not that he didn't want to, not that he tried not to or anything. I have no idea. Tectone seems to imply that Ludwig went out of his way to put the blame onto Mango, and I just don't see that considering it was just Mango's fault at the end of the day. So, like Tectone, there's definitely some other people that are hating on Ludwig and coming out of their little rat holes to comment on the situation. So, Asmongold and Ludwig have a little bit of a beef because Ludwig's whole chat hates Asmongold and thinks he's a little creepy parasite, as you should. And so, Asmon literally is taking this as an opportunity to shit on Ludwig, and at least he's open about it. You know, I don't like Asmongold, but at least he's open about the fact that he's just taking this as an opportunity to shit on him. I don't think it's the same as Tectone, who is pretending like this is some kind of divine journey that he's going on to try to help Mango here.
Like, Ludwig goes and pulls up my chat to try to make me look bad. You're getting this brought up because you trying to play games on me. You trying to make me look bad. We're gonna talk about it.
Okay, Mango is like an alcoholic.
Even Ray immediately knows this is a little bit not great.
Gotta do PB! That's dangerous! Let's up those numbers!
Wait, hold up. Black female protagonists. Let's check Asmon's chat real quick. Halo DEI. DEI trailer. Oh, it's a DEI game. If you didn't notice, that woman, you heard me say woman, was black. So that is woke and not a game I'll play.
So you trying to make me look bad because of my chat, but you don't want to look bad because of your friend. Oh, my chat said something bad. Fix your friends. Then maybe we can talk about my chat. Ludwig tries too hard to appeal to people, I agree. I'm not going to go as hard as Tectone, but I think that he tries too hard to appeal to people and it makes him feel inauthentic. I think that's where a lot of the negativity and hostility towards Ludwig comes from. I like Ludwig. I think he's smart.
So, obviously, I'm a little biased here. I think Asmongold's a little creepy rodent, and I don't really take anything he has to say too seriously, so I'm gonna try to take a step back and evaluate what he's saying without my personal biases. And I still think it is pretty stupid. I don't really understand, like, the notion. Like, it comes back to what Tectone was saying. He's comparing, like, an audience that is supposedly, like, gonna reflect the ideas of the creator compared to, like, a friend who is his own independent person. Like, Mango is not the same as a chat member saying DEI higher or something like that, because if your whole chat is saying that, you're probably fucking racist. Like, that's just true. Mango doing something does not mean that Ludwig is a sexual predator. Like, it just doesn't have any kind of correlation, and I think it's so stupid at the end of the day. I know I keep saying at the end of the day, I really need to stop doing that, but at the end of the day, I do think Ludwig should be a little more accountable in situations like this going forward. Like, I don't think he should encourage drinking, even though his friend drinks a lot. I think he should probably watch out for that. And if I were to guess, I would say Ludwig is probably going to apologize for this and apologize for a lot of things I've been defending in this video. And I really think this video is necessary because someone needs to point out how a lot of it's not his fault. He's going to do the right thing because sometimes you do have to just hold your gut and do something and bend over your back and let someone spank you, you know? But I really don't think he did too much here. I think it's a pretty nothing burger of a situation. And so, with that being said, that's about all we got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you should like and subscribe. I also have channel members which are now available. And if you really enjoyed the video, you should look into becoming one of those. I'll see ya.